I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I want to address this to NOW. It used to be NOW. That started for women's rights. And I want to address it to what you're talking about in calling Donald Trump. You're telling him he's against women. You're talking about civil rights and all that. I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama. My ID stolen. Given the name of a dead twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers. Peggy and Carl, the twins, were both killed by their mother. The Dempsey family covered it up. They were born out of wedlock. I was dropped off in a pigsty, grew up, didn't find out my real name until 83. During that time, and especially, I'm going to go back to this time, to 76 till April Fool Day of 80. On April Fool Day of 80, I had antifreeze in me to shut me up. I should have died. I was in a living hell. And at that time, every law in the book was committed against me. But it's been my whole life. If the FBI sent me a letter June the 23rd of 79. And on the telephone conversation I had with them, they said they were stacking them. And they have. The law's broken against me. I'm talking about torture. You say that this country doesn't torture. You talk about civil rights and you're downing Donald Trump. Let me clue you. My husband, for whatever else he did, he went to in 78, about that year when Larry Flint, remember Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I'm doing the book in Marietta, Georgia, living at Moonraker Apartments, and they had been owned by Penthouse Magazine, were owned by the Mormon Church when I lived there out of Utah. Now, I want to go back to this. You talk about terrorism. I was doing the book, and it was about Larry McDonald, congressman, doctor. I was writing about mind control, which is a gross infringement on anybody's, a violation of their ability to even think in their actions. And I had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of 79. Ongoing investigation, national security involved, and this took the U.S. Attorney from Atlanta, William Harper, sent it via the FBI. But he sent me the letter. They, of course, like if you turn an investigation over to the police, they issue it to the district attorney, and that's the way this was handled. And it was ongoing investigation, national security involved. Well, the antifreeze was put in me April Fool Day of 80 because this has been a joke. The United States can kidnap a monarch, take down my father, Edward VIII, and lie about him. He never married Wallace Simpson, a double did. History has been a lie. When I was flown out to Larry Flint's, and I'm jumping ahead, because one of the doctors I wrote about, U.S. Congressman Larry McDonald, doctor at Piedmont Hospital, and when I was almost killed with antifreeze, I've been almost killed in a horror story in plain sight all my life over and over. So they stacked them all right. Larry McDonald was a part of what happened to me trying to shut me up. It was MD, a license to kill. And excuse me, when people talk about anger and they down Donald Trump, he's the only one up there telling the truth. And if you talk about his wife, I think she's a very lovely lady. You talk about pornography, I don't like pornography. Larry Flint happened to be one of the few people that tried to help me. He flew me out there in August the 31st of 83 when Larry McDonald, the congressman doctor's plane went down, that I had written about in the manuscript that's unpublished because they tried to kill me and almost did with antifreeze. So Mr. Flint had the Bloomingdale tapes, and people were killed that had it. Well, they went after Mr. Flint. So maybe you women who are so upright, righteous and everything should focus on a few things like that. When I was out at Mr. Flint's, he gave me the home phone number of, I'm going to blank her out right now, who was supposed to be the Women Lib, Jewish Women Lib back then. I called her on the phone and talked to her, and she hung up on me. Uh, so I'm going to jump to Moonraker Apartment. I was trying to do the book, and so much happened. Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville. I didn't know him. I knew it was a program shooting. My husband went to NOW. Its headquarters were in D.C. and went to the head. They're the women's rights. We're supposed to be for women's rights. You know, went more than once. I called their offices. I called them local in Atlanta. I went to every TV station. I had a letter from the FBI too, June the 23rd of '79. So nobody doubted what was going on with me. Uh, I ended up after the antifreeze across the state line, working for the district attorney in that condition, and I was in a living hell. Try having antifreeze put in you, dears. So women haven't helped me at all. In fact, they've been a big factor in this. I've done nothing but tell the truth. Not one of you women helped me along the way. When I look back at it, Lana Dempsey, the psychopath, there's not any of you that were any different. You chose one to help. And if it was going to cost you, you didn't. So don't you go after Donald Trump. I don't know him. I just know he's the only one telling the truth up there. And his wife's a beautiful lady. You better hope to God your background is half as good as theirs or your intentions. When you mentioned Diana, and you said something about Trump saying something about her, hey, I've been called every name in the book, every crime in the book against me and my family and my country. Not one of you have spoken up. So you can get together and do all this, but none of you help me. So I'm going to leave it at that. My husband back then went to Ralph Nader and Dr. Wolf. He went to their office. You know who I had a letter from? Playboy magazine. And it was Arthur Kretschmer, who was on the editorial staff there as you open Playboy magazine. By the way, I don't read Playboy and I don't read Hustler. But I put Hustler on my videos because Larry Flint was shot, and he endorsed me and flew me out there. And he knew all about me, about my background, about the antifreeze, about me being Victoria II. But Arthur Kretschmer was one that went to bat for me. I did call him after I sent the information. I was living at Moonraker, so this was 78 May until the next May of 79. He told me he had my information. He turned it over to his attorneys, and they were going to help me, and they were looking into it and were going to help me. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm a lady. I've been through hell, and I did it for the right reasons because I have a good heart, just like my father and my mother did. Where have all you lovely women who talk about civil rights and the blacks who talk about civil rights and just you Americans in general? Not one person has doubted what's happened to me, been done. It's been done in plain sight. So before you start going after Donald Trump, look at yourselves. Because Donald Trump and his wife, as far as I'm concerned, is a most beautiful lady, and he is not a bigot. What names would fit you all? And you took up for Diana. She was using my money, my health. She's not a lady. None of them are. And what about you? And you talk about name calling. I've been called every name in the book because I was born and because you all broke the law. I didn't. I didn't choose to come over here to this country and be tortured and my children be tortured. So bye, darlings, because you sure didn't help me.